frankly, I think it came way too late in the game. I think in Egypt one could find excuses for the late comingness of the message. But in the case of Libya, the evidence for a bloodbath has been on display for a couple of days, and yet we saw the Europeans and the Americans hesitant, almost intimidated and afraid to challenge the regime. I think the outside world owes it not only to the Libyan people, but to its own interests to ensure that the transition is orderly, that Gaddafi is pushed out of power as soon as possible, and that a bloodbath, to the extent that that is a feasible scenario, is prevented. I think the statements today are welcome, but more has to be done to ensure that Libya avoids any catastrophic scenarios that are designed to rescue a regime that, quite frankly, has crumbled and is on its way out. And it's only a matter of days now before we see the end of it.
Thank you very much indeed for your analysis there. Good to talk to you, Dr. Tarek Youssef, speaking to us from Dubai. Now, Al Jazeera is accusing Libya's intelligence services of jamming our television signal and blocking our website. Our channel has traced the source of the jamming to a Libyan intelligence technical administration building south of Tripoli. Now, our channels have been subject to jamming for weeks, but it has been stepped up since Friday, along with the anti-government demonstrations taking place in Libya. But you can still watch us, never fear, on Nilesat network at this frequency on your screens now. Also on the Hotbird network, you can use these settings. Now, our sister channel, Al Jazeera Arabic, broadcasts on Nilesat on these signals and on Hotbird. Here are the settings that you need. And don't worry if you've missed them. They're all going to be on the ticker, which rolls across the bottom of our screen, as well as on our website. They've also opened up two new ports on Arabsat, Al Jazeera Arabic, broadcasting on these two frequencies. Well, let's see who else is managing to evade censorship in Libya. Nazanin Sadri has been monitoring the tweets and all the internet chatter. Let's catch up on what's being said, Naz.
Thanks, Julie. Well, as we've been reporting, no foreign media, that's including Al Jazeera, has had any access to Libya since the violence began a week ago. Hashtags such as Libya, Gaddafi, Benghazi, Tripoli are all generating a great deal of traffic right now on social media sites and are trending on Twitter at the moment. Let me start by showing you this update from a user we believe is in Tripoli called Ali. This is what he's been posting in the last hour. There is nothing, the road's almost empty. We saw army aircrafts going west. You don't know who you can trust. Everyone is like in the Matrix movie. One moment smiles at you and then you have an agent ready to capture you. And God help us all. I can't even call my friends now. The internet might go off at any moment now. Well, to get around the curbs on the internet in Libya, Google has launched a service where anyone in the country can phone a landline and leave a message. That will then be transcribed directly into a tweet. The news about the service is spreading. The numbers are on your screens right now. Well, getting reliable footage out of Libya is also proving really hard. These are some images posted on YouTube. This appears to be from the city of Benghazi, which we've been reporting has been allegedly taken over by protesters. These are said to be from Monday, with residents taking over buildings. And this one is from the city of Misrata, which shows overnight celebrations in a town about 160 kilometers to the east of Tripoli. People there celebrating and chanting against the regime. Well, right now on social media sites, you're getting a real sense of fear as well as panic on the messages. Lots of people say there's a feeling of calm before the storm, possibly this Monday evening. Many social media users are family members and friends who are trying to stay in contact with those in Libya. The Libyan Youth Movement is a group that's following developments very closely. These are some of their latest tweets. Benghazi is out on the streets in large numbers to protest for the killing of their brothers in Tripoli. Another message from Change in Libya says, I've got reports that the highways leading to Tripoli are packed with people from all over the country coming to help Libya. And Iyad says, this is it, folks. Calls all across Libya for a march on Gaddafi's residence in Tripoli after afternoon prayers, or Asr prayers. Well, you can keep up to date with all the latest messages and videos we're getting on our live Libya blog. That's on our website, aljazeera.net/English. That's it for me for now. I'll keep monitoring, but for now it's back to you, Shuli.
Nazanin, thank you very much indeed for that. A lot of fast-moving developments in the whole Libyan situation and also ramifications in Europe. Let's cross back to Felicity Barr in our European News Centre for more on that. What's the latest, Felicity?
Yeah, thanks, Julie. We're just hearing that Libyan jets have in fact landed on the island of Malta. That is where demonstrations were taking place earlier outside the Libyan embassy. Let's go straight to Malta, speak to Carl Stanio Navarra. He joins me on the phone line now from the capital, Valletta. So some sort of air traffic coming in from Libya to Malta. Carl, tell us more.
Well, the information is a little bit scarce so far. However, we can confirm that two fighters believed to be Libyan Air Force Mirage jets have arrived in Malta and landed at the international airport. Their arrival followed shortly after the arrival of two civilian helicopters, which reportedly flew in and landed in Malta, carrying at least 7 passengers. The sources are saying that the helicopters escaped from Libya with no official clearance and arrived in Malta quite regularly. However, there's no indication of the nationalities of the people who have been, or the passengers. However, there are some reports claiming that the passengers could be of French nationalities. At least only one passenger was carrying a passport on him, just to show how urgently, how fast the people were trying to escape from Libya. The men are all being detained by the immigration police at this moment, trying to confirm the identities of all the passengers. However, what is also the concern for the Maltese government right now is the presence of the Libyan fighter jets which have landed in Malta. Now, my sources have already informed me that investigations are underway with regards to the pilots to see where they came from and which base, and it is possible that these aircraft have left the military base in Benghazi, where there is reports of chaos and mayhem, and where the compound belonging to the Libyan Air Force there has been destroyed by the protesters. In another development here in Malta, the Libyan ambassador is being pressured to resign by a number of Libyan residents here on the island, and he has also refused to remove the flag which is flying on the roof of the building. He has also having to face the defection of a number of diplomats from his embassy, and they have joined the protest which is being held outside the embassy building. In the meantime, what I can also say is that the island of Malta, which is just 1 hour by flight from Tripoli, is gearing up slowly to become a logistical base for the European Union's plans to evacuate EU nationals. Already a plane has left from Malta this afternoon belonging to the Air Force in Austria, and it is intended to return tonight with Austrian nationals who have been waiting for a number of hours now to be evacuated from Libya. So far, what I can say is a few minutes ago I have spoken to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malta, who is attending the European Ministers meeting in Brussels, and as Jackie Rowland said, there is so far no official coordinated plan with regards to how they're going to tackle the Libyan issue. However, on the outskirts of this meeting, there has been talk, one with regards to a coordinated plan for the evacuation of EU nationals, and in the meantime, is to see what is going to happen with regards to the